The lifeblood of any museum or historical society is the acquisition of new material. The Oysterponds Historical Society is no exception. Far from being a static organization dedicated solely to the care of old things, OHS is constantly acquiring new items that further tell the story of this small corner of the world. This material presents new opportunities to help us in our goal of informing the present by better understanding the past. Almost every new item acquired is donated, although a very small acquisition fund allows us from time to time to buy an object that would otherwise be lost. We usually try to find funding from a member of or friend of OHS if we discover something that is particularly relevant to oyster ponds or that relates significantly to an important item already in the collection. As you will see, the variety of objects that we accept reflects the great range of material that is already part of the collection. From bed warmers to paintings, chairs, hooked rugs, and oars, all sorts of wonderful. Windsor chair, attributed to Pellet C. King, circa 1805, gift of Doug and Karen Constant. Windsor chairs were a staple of American furniture made throughout the 18th and 19th centuries. The primary components of a Windsor chair are the contoured plank seat, drilled above and below with sockets to hold the pieces of the back and those of the legs. The parts of the upper section and of the legs are always separate, never a single continuous piece as in most chairs. Windsor chairs were usually painted, and a fresh coat of paint was all that was needed to keep a chair looking new. Of the many Windsor chairs in the OHS collection, this is one of two attributed to Pellet C. King, a local craftsman who was active in Oyster Ponds at the turn of the 19th century. King advertised his chair-making business, which was located near the wharf, in the Suffolk Gazette in July 1804. Rum War in the Sound, March 30th, 1932. Gail F. Horton, 2004. The artist writes, one of Dave's best tales is one of the night before his birth. Dave's mother, Martha Horton, was very pregnant. He recounts the story as told to him. It would have been March 30th, 1932, when Prohibition was still in force, and my mother and grandmother went to the movies in Greenport in the old Chrysler coupe with the yellow spoke wheels, and they were on their way home, and they heard bingity bangity boom out on the sound, and looked, and they saw flashing lights and what not. So they pulled over and got out and proceeded to watch the feds chase down a rum runner. And my mother got so excited she started to go into labor, and so my grandmother got her in the car and took her right back to Greenport to the hospital. Ice boating, Alan Bull, 2000. Ice boating is a highly anticipated winter activity in Orient that takes place on Halleck's Bay when the weather is cold enough. This scene was painted in February 2000. Alan Bull is an artist, teacher, and illustrator based in Newbury, Massachusetts, but has deep roots in Orient and is known for his many paintings of oyster ponds and the North Fork. He is a member of the Terry family, whose history here dates back to the 17th century.